Good evening, and welcome to Whispers in the Dark. Tell me, do you like stories about things that go creeping in the night? Stories of the twisted and macabre? Stories about werewolves, vampires, and more. Some true, some false. The stories tell all, but keep your voices low. The thing in the corner wakes when it hears new guests, but fear not. It will eventually move to some other shadowy corner. So turn off all your lights, grab a drink, put on a headset, settle close, and don't turn until I say so. Otherwise, the thing behind you will grab you by the shoulders. This bone-chilling story is based on actual events. It took place in Corpus Christi, Texas on a Friday evening. This evening's tale of horror is called The Night the Wall Opened. The heat that summer didn't feel normal. Clung to the fog like the two were conspiring, wrapping the neighborhood in a thick, breathless haze. I was 18, living with my 16-year-old brother, and the only sound in the house was his band shaking the walls in the back room. I sat on a stool in the corner with a brewski in my hand, waiting for their last song to die out. By 3:30 p.m., the house finally went quiet. I slipped inside, eager to put Resident Evil 2 on my PlayStation 2. I had picked the game up earlier that day at the mall with my brother, just before some friends invited us to a party. Around 5, my brother poked his head in and asked if I was going to the party. I told him no. I had my game, my night, and the whole house to myself. He left with a grin. I looked down at the game case and whispered, "Finally, just me and you." I didn't realize it then, but the house had been waiting for that moment too. I push my palms into the couch and stand, and something about the room changes with me. Not a sound, not a flicker, just a subtle pressure, like the air is paying attention, the kind of attention that makes your skin feel a little too aware of itself. The PS2 sits across the room, this little red standby light, glowing like a patient eye. I take a step toward it, and the carpet under my feet feels softer than it should, almost like it's trying to muffle my movement. I pick up the game case. The plastic clicks as I open it, and the disc catches the light. For a heartbeat, the reflection on its surface doesn't look like the room behind me. It looks darker, deeper than it should, like the shadows are closer on the reflection than they are in real life. I blink, and the reflection snaps back to normal. I slide the disc out. It's warm, warmer than my hands. Halfway to the console, I hear it. A faint shift of weight behind me. Not footsteps, but breathing. Just the quiet suggestion that someone else stood up when I did. I didn't turn around to look. I press the open button. The tray slides open with that familiar whir. Only this time, the sound seems to stretch, like it's echoing from somewhere farther away than my living room. I place the disc inside. The moment my fingers leave it, a cold chill brushes the back of my neck. The tray closes, the TV flickers, and the house waits. Hours slipped by without me noticing. The game pulled me in so completely that the time felt thin, stretched, almost unreal. When I finally shut the PS2 down, the clock glared back at me. 8:30 p.m. Already, the house felt too quiet, too still, like it had been holding its breath while I played. I switched the TV from aux to cable, trying to shake the strange heaviness in the air. HBO flickered on, and the new Resident Evil movie had just started. Perfect timing, I thought to myself. It was on the scene where Spence Park shatters the T-virus vial in the lab. By the time the credits rolled, it was nearly 11:45 p.m. The house felt restless, like something unseen was pacing just out of view. To break the tension, I decided to put on a comedy movie. Something light, something funny. I walked to my DVD shelf and grabbed Dazed and Confused, a kind of movie that settles a bad vibe. When I pulled the case from the shelf, a cold chill slid across the back of my neck. Not a breeze, not a draft, a touch, light, delicate, like fingertips brushing skin. I forced myself to ignore it and put the movie on. I loaded a bowl, settled in the couch, and hit play. The laughter, the music, the familiar scenes. When the movie ended, the clock read 1:55 a.m. I turned off the TV and decided to sleep on the couch. The pillow and blanket were already there waiting. I laid down, closed my eyes, and drifted off. Minutes or hours later, I couldn't tell, something slammed against the floor. My eyes snapped open. I tried to sit up, but my body refused. Not my arms, up my shoulders, not even my lungs. I couldn't draw in a full breath, couldn't force out a sound. I was pinned inside myself, frozen, while the house around me held its silence. That's when I saw it. A black mass clung to the wall beside me, just above the couch. This thing was darker than the room, darker than the night outside. It pulsed, thickening, swallowing the wall behind it. The surface began to ripple, slow and liquid, like the wall had turned into a pool of black water. I still couldn't move. Then a hand pushed through. The dark water parted around it, fingers stretching out, first an arm, then a head. A whole figure forcing itself through the wall, emerging inch by inch into the room where I lay helpless. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. The air refused to carry my voice. Close enough that if it wanted to touch me, it wouldn't have needed to reach far. Through the panic, a single thought came through, sharp, loud, urgent, not my own. Move your toes. If you can move your toes, you'll wake up. One twitch, another twitch. Then suddenly my whole body snapped free, the paralysis shattering like glass. The figure vanished instantly, sucked back into the dark water of the wall. The ripples stilled. The wall returned to normal the moment consciousness hit me. Instinct took over. I yanked the blanket over my head and curled into myself, heart pounding so violently it shook the couch. This wasn't like the other encounters. Not a flicker in the corner of my eye, not a shape in the doorway. This one had come through the wall. This one leaned over me. This one had been close enough to touch. I stayed under the blanket, perfectly still, listening to the house breathe around me. Eventually, exhaustion dragged me under again, pulling me back to sleep. I never told anyone what happened that night, not even my brother. He doesn't believe in the supernatural. I haven't told anyone, until now. Well, I guess the secret's out. Shadow people have a way of choosing their moments, slipping in when the world is quiet enough to hear them breathe. And paralysis, that's the doorway they walk through. My grandmother used to tell me that if you wake from a nightmare unable to move or cry out, it's because the thing from your dream followed you back and hasn't stepped away yet. And with that, our true tale of horror comes to a close. Until next time, gals and ghouls, may the dark stay where it belongs.